Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Tim, and you're watching Doc's Autos on YouTube. Stay tuned. All right, folks, so if you haven't yet, hit the like and subscribe below. If you have, thank you. And thank you to everybody who's coming back to watch yet another episode, Playing with Cars. And if you are new, thank you for checking us out. We are kind of looking at our options for our next few projects. We're getting close to the end of January and I need something to do. So as I mentioned before, we've got a couple of options here. Old blue car 1, green convertible 1, old green convertible 2. Truck Norris, he's doing just fine. So my thoughts are 52 Chevy is going to need work. The original thought was to clean up the mechanicals, get the brakes, the transmission, suspension, and redo the interior, and just sort of leave the exterior in its original patina. It is pretty when it's cleaned up. If we can walk around here, maybe get enough light. It's got a really great patina on the roof, which I like, but there are some issues like some pretty significant dents in the doors, and this front panel, it's difficult to see, but there's a crease right here along the front half of it, up to here about. But the chrome is pretty much all lost its color. And this side again, there is a pretty decent ding in the back. So I'm kind of torn between leaving it as is, and of course the interior is needing to be redone. Seat cover, yep. I replaced the floor pans a couple years ago. The dash, all the gauges work, all the lights work. It just needs to be redone. The headliner is not saggy, believe it or not, but it's dirty, it's faded. And looking in the back, there have been mice in here for a while, and they've finally been evicted, but they've done their damage. You can see up here, they've eaten away and above the visor in the front. And it smells like mouse. Under here, when I took these seats out, there was a huge, probably volleyball size mouse nest, but the interior needs to be redone. So my thought is, with the work that does need to be redone, do I leave it in its original work clothes, or do I clean it up? My long-term goal for this car was to kind of be our Sunday church car. We'd put seat belts in it for the kids in the back. And church is 2 miles away down a dirt road. So it's not like we're going out on the highway or anything. If you look under the hood, it runs, it starts. I did replace the valve cover last year. I did go ahead and adjust the valves, but it's very greasy and oily and leaky. So the front leaks, the back leaks, the differential leaks. Doesn't leak fuel anymore. It's got a brand new fuel system in it. It has some new steering and suspension components in it, as well as new brake lines in a lot of it. But that still does not help the fact that the engine, I feel, really does need to come out and be fully rebuilt. I don't really have any aspirations to, make a hot rod out of it. It's a great car. It's kind of rare for one that hasn't been hacked up and hot rodded out. And again, it's the Chevy 216 inline 6-cylinder. Not a powerhouse, but it's a fun car. So my thought this winter is maybe to bring it inside and work on the dents on the doors, or at least bring the doors inside and see if I can get those dents pulled out at all. And see what we can do there. The interior is going to be another year, of course. The full paint job, if I do that, it's going to be another year, of course. And I think I'm committing myself to a full paint job if I start working on these doors, because I'm going to have to weld on studs, pull out those dents, fill it, sand it, and everything. So I think if I touch it, it's going to be a paint job. Even this light actually works still, as do the vacuum assist windshield wipers, the horn. So kind of amazing for 50, 70, yeah, old car, 52, yep, it's 70 something years old almost, around there. Math is never my strong suit, but everything works. It was a barn find. It sat for a number of years. I've got a longer video on this as well you could look at. But the nice thing, I was able to find license plates specifically for this year. And while I did try and register them with the vehicle, apparently this numbering series, or at least 7 or 8 years ago when I tried to register the plates, was reserved for special vehicles. So I actually do have legit vanity plates for the vehicle. They're just tucked away in the back. So that's kind of where we're sitting with the Chevy. You know, it's not going to be a single winter project. It's going to be work on it here and there when time allows. So that's why I was kind of thinking, pick it apart, work on stuff when time allows. Probably going to be a body off project. So of course that's going to have to wait until we do get the shop in here completed, but I can at least try and get some things started. I don't know that I want to tackle the engine and drivetrain on it yet, just because there's a lot of unknowns with it. Availability of parts isn't too bad, but if I've got to go ahead and have the bearings rebabbited, that it may be a challenge. I don't know a whole lot of folks down by me here that do that. Other folks up north, yes. But right now, no, and I want to be in a position where I can get the parts to those people and get it done and back together, so I'm not sitting with it in pieces for 3 years, lose parts, forget where it goes, and end up with a bigger mess than I started with. So that's kind of where we're sitting at with the Chevy. And we'll see how we go with that. Next thing we have is the 98 Mustang. That does need presumably a head gasket replacement and the new convertible top. Now, with it being January in Minnesota, I don't know that I want to attempt this one right now, because I want to flush out the engine, the coolant, and refill it and see if more oil ends up in the coolant to fully confirm that it is the head gasket versus maybe one time just overheated and has been fine since, because I have not exhibited any more oil in the coolant than when I picked it up. I actually drained out and cleaned the overflow tank, and I've run it a number of times since then with more coolant in and out of the tank, and I haven't experienced any oil in there, but there is still a little bit of film in the radiator itself. And my thought is that it's just some lingering stuff from when it overheated a number of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I believe it was. And it's been fine since. So being it's January, the proper way to do it, to actually flush it out and agitate everything out, is to go ahead and run it for an hour and drive it, not just idle it, and then do a flush and see if that clears it out. So I don't know that I want to go taking a rear-wheel drive convertible for an hour's drive in Minnesota in January. That sounds like a bad idea. So that may be a project that waits till spring, when we can actually get outside and not have to worry about getting stuck in the snow or dying and freezing and whatever else. The other thing, of course, is that convertible top. That's going to be the faster thing to repair. That could be a weekend job up in the nice heated garage. But until I get the engine itself assessed, I don't want to put a lot of investment into the convertible top itself. You know, while we do plan to keep this, I want to put the money where it should go first, and of course that's going to be in making the vehicle run correctly. So that's kind of the low priority item. So we'll see. The last item is the old 74 Spitfire, the giraffe. Came from my father, and it needs a full frame-off restoration. There is a frame in the back of the horse trailer for the vehicle. Again, that's going to have to wait until we have time and space in the shop itself. While I have mentioned I can put the 4-post vehicle lift in the garage right now and move it down to the shop at a later date, that idea didn't go over quite so well. So my thought interim would possibly be to pull the engine out of this thing and work on that this winter. It's got a cute little engine in it, difficult to see much, but it's a little 4-cylinder engine. It does pretty much need to be rebuilt. It does leak stuff, oil. The rear end leaks a little bit too, and it just doesn't run very well. I've gone through the carburetor. That could probably be gone through by a professional or just flat out replaced. It does need to be completely rewired too. It has the Lucas wiring harness in it, which at one point in time did start on fire. So while everything seems to work on the vehicle, every once in a while, if you try and turn on the headlights in the evening, the car quits. So this will be a candidate for full restoration. The body itself is in really great shape. There are very few dents. Actually, only one that I can really think of from where it got hit with the snowblower a long time ago. So I can pull that out, patch it up, and be done. But the rest of the body is in really good shape. Just the frame is rotted out in the back and not really safe to drive very far. So my thought with this was, again, do I pull out the engine and transmission, get a complete rebuild kit for it, and go to it this winter? Or what do I do? It's probably, again, one of those things that I can readily get all the parts for. They're not too expensive, and it's a new enough engine, or if I do have to have it taken somewhere to have the heads machined down or the cylinder walls cleaned up, I can have that done locally in pretty short order, I'd think, compared to the 52. So again, I'm kind of looking for winter projects here. We'll be getting into February soon, and that seems like a long month for whatever reason. But just kind of something to tide me over until it gets nice and we can come outside and work again and enjoy the outdoors with the family. So leave your comments and thoughts below. What should we work on next? I have been looking for our next car from IAA or Copart, but A, I haven't found anything really to my liking, and B, everything is so expensive still. So waiting for some of those prices to come back down. My goal is, again, to find a couple of cheaper cars to flip and clean up and move, just so I've got something to do, in between these 3 projects. So let me know your thoughts. What should we work on next? Or should I just sit in the corner all winter and pretend it's not winter? All right, folks, so which of these 3 vehicles should we start working on this winter? Do we want to work on dent removal on the 52 Chevy? Do we want to fiddle with the engine on the Mustang? Or do we want to really fiddle with an engine and yank the little engine out of the Spitfire and work on rebuilding that? So I'm kind of looking for your input on what direction we go next. So go ahead and drop that below. And again, if you have not hit the like and subscribe, do it, share it with your friends, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.